All new tonight, nearly a year after construction wrapped up on this $17 million homeless housing project in Iwilei, no one's moved in. Meanwhile, a row of tents line the sidewalk outside. The mayor's office admits it doesn't know when the Homeless Resource Center will open. Delays were initially blamed on failed negotiations with the operator picked to run the place. But as investigative reporter Allison Blair explains, problems turned out to be much more complicated.
This goes back to decisions that were made during the Caldwell administration. In order to build the Homeless Resource Center, money was pulled from multiple sources, including the city's general fund, federal funding, and bond money. I'm told it was those bonds and the rules associated with them that brought this project to a halt. Meanwhile, the need for homeless resources on Oahu is enormous. Along Fort Street Mall, outside the Cathedral Basilica of Our Lady of Peace, troubles constantly lurking.
Every single day I find drug users, fights. We've had people come out with knives.
John Fielding is the church's volunteer safety minister. He says the neighborhood's long been overrun with homeless people, many of whom are in need of mental health and drug treatment services.
A lot of the seniors are very scared about what's happening here.
He'd hoped the Homeless Resource Center, built just a mile down the road, would be open by now to play a part in solving some of the problems here.
But it's for naught. You know, it's just sitting there.
Locked away behind this fence are 27 brand new low-income apartments, several large spaces intended for a homeless shelter, and a world-class kitchen. Next month will mark 1 year since construction on the $17 million project was finished.
We're very motivated to really get that building activated.
Director of Honolulu's Community Services Department, Anton Krugge.
The problem we have is what I call the color of money. And what that means is there were different types of money that were used to construct that building. And those types of money have rules to them, right? And in particular, bond money.
He says the rules associated with those bonds require a portion of the building to be affordable housing. That means the city needs to find an entity to manage those units. Krugge says the city has tried to partner with a long list of groups, but so far every deal has fallen apart.
How many proposals have already gone through and not worked out?
I laugh about it when I say 7, 8.
The latest potential partner is the state, but there's no guarantee that will work either.
I think a lot of people want to know why this project hasn't been expedited.
Those rules are complicated, and it's hard to get a written scenario that satisfies those rules that will last over time. If we jump too soon and don't do it correctly, then later we'll have some real problems that will be hard to unravel.
Do you think more could have been done by the last administration to alleviate what's happening right now?
I really don't know. I'm just trying to make sure that we get this straight. Our legal counsel buys off on it, then we can negotiate the deal with the state, and then we can get it done.
It's a very busy, noisy day today, isn't it?
Back on Fort Street Mall, parishioners are desperate for relief.
There is an emergency.
He says he'll continue to do what he can to try and manage the crisis outside their door.
The sad thing is we have the resources. We're just not using the resources.
We asked the city what expenses are being incurred while the building sits empty. Officials couldn't give us an exact figure, only saying that it's not a large number. Meanwhile, there's no word on exactly when the Homeless Resource Center might open. In Iwilei, Allison Blair, Hawaii News Now.